A practice where those with lighter skin are treated more favorably than those who are darker is known as colorism. Colorism manifests inter as well as interculturally and is very prominent in Asian cultures. In Asian countries, skin color and tone played a major role in racial classification. Light skin tones equated positive traits such as intelligence and beauty, whereas darker skin tones were related to low economic backgrounds. This was due to the types of jobs people had during that time period. Typically, if you were part of a lower socioeconomic class, you would work outdoors, such as a manual laborer or a farmer, causing your skin to darken. Now, if you were from a wealthy family background, you may not even have to work, and you would remain indoors, away from the sunlight. This would cause you to have a lighter skin tone. So to be light-skinned meant a life of privilege, and to be dark-skinned meant a life of work. Because of this negative connotation to dark skin, people did everything they could to have a lighter skin color. Some would even eat crushed pearls and peas because they were said to give whiter skin. Now, the ideology of white being better still remains. Women with lighter skin are urged to hide it from the sun. Hats and umbrellas are popular in Asia because people fear having a darker complexion. They go out of their way to have the lightest skin color they can and admire those who do. The beauty industry takes advantage of this stigma and sells skin products like crazy.
My answer would have to be no, because these standards are just so unrealistic. I know for me growing up, all these Korean idols and celebrities I looked up to all looked a certain way. And for me, in an attempt to achieve that, I suffered from eating disorders and body dysmorphia. I always had low self-confidence and hated seeing myself in pictures. I don't think it's healthy at all to try so hard to strive for something that's unachievable to begin with. We all have different genetic blueprints that make us how we look, and some things you just can't change. Because once you change one thing, you're going to want to change another and another, and it will just become an endless toxic cycle. I would say that it affected my life a lot, and it still does. For example, in Korea, women are considered beautiful if they have double eyelids, which is more of a Western thing. And for me personally, I have monolids, meaning I don't have the crease on my eyes. And growing up, I've always been told I would look prettier if I got the surgery done for double eyelids. And every person I knew personally who got the surgery done, to me, always looked better before than after. And it took me years to finally accept myself for how I look and to stand up for myself, which I think is so important. My beauty shouldn't have to be justified, and it's okay to be an Asian woman and have darker skin or not be under 100 pounds. It's just hard to accept that, being that everywhere you go, everywhere you look, like in media, you never see Asian women with different varieties of body types or skin tones. But as long as you're confident in yourself and own how you look, I'll always find that beautiful. Now let's take a look into one of the fastest growing industries worldwide, Korean beauty. Korean beauty products are making their way onto the markets in the US and many other countries outside of Asia. They can be found on the sites and shelves of big brands such as Sephora and even Urban Outfitters. Korean beauty products seem to like to focus on one main thing: whitening. I can speak from experience as I have worked at a Korean skincare/beauty store called Nature Republic for 2 years. Over the years, I've seen countless amounts of products, both old and new, that advertise the promise of whiter skin with daily use. Our foundation selection was not much either. During my employment, there was only one sad attempt at trying to be inclusive. Just one foundation shade in one of many lines that was much darker than the rest. The lack of selection and the prevalence of whitening products suggest darker skin tones all come in one shade, and that light skin is the preferred, and by light, I mean paler than pale. Compared to other brands, such as NARS Cosmetics, which is French, and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna, there's just no room for variance. This would also tie in to what we saw during the film New Year Baby, where there were posters clearly advertising whitening products. But this time, it's not just those people in Asia who are being exposed to it. It's here, trying to convince us that whiter is better.
Hi, I'm here with Sean Fang. Thank you, Sean, for doing this interview. Quickly, could you give me a little bit of cultural background of your family?
My family is from Taiwan,
Okay.
and I was born in America.
Okay, first generation. What are some common beauty standards that you and your peers are aware of?
Women are supposed to be super skinny. They're also supposed to be really pale, like they've never seen the sun in their life. They're supposed to have really big eyes and really long eyelashes.
Do you think that these standards are healthy to chase, or do you think that they are unhealthy?
I think that it's unhealthy to think that you're supposed to be super skinny and to have no muscle definition whatsoever. I think that that's dangerous because that contributes to eating disorders.
Are there any beauty standards or colorisms that you strongly disagree with? Maybe you mentioned them already, but are there any ones that really stick out that bother you, that you think that should not even be a part of the culture?
Yeah, that women are supposed to be super skinny.
Right.
I think it gives this impression that women aren't supposed to do any work. That's what apparently a lot of Asian men find attractive, but I wholly disagree with that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
There are many outcomes and effects of colorism that can come upon an individual. These acts at a young age can cause low self-esteem, and they are more susceptible to endure rude comments. As mentioned before, colorism promotes a narrow standard of beauty. This standard afflicts communities of color, and racialization can occur within an ethnic group. Economic opportunity also becomes a factor. In regards to employment, an individual who appears darker may be perceived as uneducated, relating back to the history of uneducated individuals working in fields. However, today, there are many outlets and influencers that are speaking out about colorism within the Asian community. An upsurge in campaigns are seeking to eradicate the concept of colorism. The Asian community is constantly seeking to redefine what it means to be brown in beauty, movies, social class, and as an ethnic group.